Всем привет! Вы на канале Зеленая Америка, и сегодня Америка будет по-настоящему зеленой. Дело в том, что мы только что вернулись из Центральной Америки, из страны Коста-Рика, где провели замечательные 1,5 недели. И мы останавливались в одном из отелей, который находится прямо посредине джунглей. Это скорее даже не отель, а такой резорт. И мне посчастливилось поговорить с владельцем этого отеля. Мы с ним пообщались о его прошлом, о его текущей жизни, о его планах на будущее, о том, как он решился переехать, потому что сам он не из Коста-Рики. И мне кажется, получился интересный такой тур по самой местности, интересный получился разговор, поэтому с удовольствием делюсь им с вами. Интервью сделано только на английском языке, поэтому если вы хотите включить автоперевод, можете нажать шестереночку, которая находится внизу экрана, и YouTube автоматически вам с английского на русский переведет. Всем приятного просмотра. Hola amigos, we are on vacation right now in Costa Rica and we stayed in the hotel in the middle of the jungle. And I was lucky to talk to the owner of this place, and he showed me around and answered some of my questions. So I think it will be very interesting for you to listen to his story and to look at this place. Hello, Marcus. Thank you for your time. Thank you for... I know you're busy, but please show us your wonderful, amazing, beautiful property.
Okay, you're welcome to be here. I will try to show you around, explain to you a little bit. I can't tell you everything that happened in the last 6 years, but I'll try my best. So we have an old entrance here. The entrance was already here when I bought the property. And you have to understand this was an abandoned property and it was a cattle farm. Like maybe 15, 20 years ago, this was a cattle farm. The soil here is not very nutritious. So if the cattle eats all the grass and there's a lot of erosion, most of the time, many farmers just move on because it's just not worth the time and money anymore. So it was abandoned, and I actually bought it from some Americans, and I started some agritourism project here.
It's perfect. And how did you find this property?
Basically, I just looked on the internet what is available in Costa Rica, and I looked at exactly 5 different properties, like in the whole of Costa Rica. I only looked at 5. And this one I really liked, and I saw there's a lot of potential, and the price was reasonable, let's say.
Okay.
And I made an offer, and they more or less accepted it, and I decided to buy it. So that was it.
That's cool.
My kids were here as well, and my daughter thought I was crazy. My son thought this was a good idea, and I just decided to buy it.
At least you had some support, not the full support, but yeah. What is this? This is the first house at Casa.
Yes, this we call the Casa San Antonio because we are here in the village of San Antonio. And you have to understand, this was a ruin. I can probably give you a picture of what it looked before. That would be very good. It looked like this was the place where they were selling the beef. And it was a complete ruin. And we only left the floor inside and the walls, and the rest is all new. And it's the place where I lived for about 4 years before I built another house. And now, after I moved out, we use this as a guest house. So people can book it on Airbnb or booking.com. And it has 2 separate bedrooms. So many times I have families with children or friends. They book it. It has a kitchen. And it's a very private place.
So, tell me, please, about your previous life before living here in Costa Rica. Where you're from originally, and some key moments of your previous life.
I'm from Austria. I grew up in Austria and I went to university in Vienna. And my background is environmental and civil engineering. I worked a little bit in this field, and then I started to work internationally, mostly in the oil and gas industry actually. And I worked in Eastern Europe, in Kazakhstan, in Africa, in Europe, and in the US. But after 15, 20 years in the industry, I was not 100% satisfied with my life.
Yeah.
Para Rigo, pero Rigo quizás es mejor solo escondido en la cocina.
So who are these guys? Is it your workers?
Yes, those are 2 of my workers. Yes, Rigo and Tulio.
So they like live full time here and help you with property, with
Yeah,
everything.
Tulio actually stays here, and Rigo comes a few days a week to help with the gardening and the cutting of grass.
Got it. And what is this?
Well, this is
Like right in front of us.
we keep some wood here that we collect in the forest, or trees that fell down, and then we decided to make tables out of it, and we try it here.
I see.
Here is this is basically the entrance to the forest with a lot of trails. We have approximately 5 kilometers of trails now, and some are like very easy to walk and wide, like this one, and some are really narrow with where you need a machete and you really go deep into the forest.
And the first day when we arrived here, you told us about this trail and we walked these trails. And then you said that this all property is yours. So how big is it? Like how many square kilometers?
It's exactly 40 hectares, which is 400,000 square meters.
Oh my
40
God.
hectares, 400 square, or 100 acres.
Amazing. So it's a huge, yeah.
Yes, you can walk for quite a while here, and it's also at the end of the property. There's basically another forest, so you don't even see where the border is. There are some of the fences I was never able to find because they're too deep in the forest. It's too steep. You would need like climbing gear to find all the border.
I've noticed there are dogs that live with
Yes,
you. How many? Like
we have
2, 3 dogs?
We have 3 dogs. This is Ellie.
Ellie. Hi, Ellie.
Ellie Salo. Ellie is from Texas.
She's from
So
Texas.
she's a Texan dog.
So she understands what
She
I'm
talks
saying to her.
English. The others are all Spanish speakers. So I bought this property, and then I found out the property, if you're not here 100%, it's a loss because you pay for the lawyers, for people to keep it clean. People will steal things. So if you're not here, you're just paying and you're not benefiting. So basically, I had to quit my job and come here. And that's what I did.
And yes, as I understand, so you've worked on a like top management position or something like that, or on a good position.
Yeah,
like
I had
above middle position.
I had a good position, and
You made a good
not
money.
bad.
I mean, it was complicated to leave your job to.
Yes, of
start
course,
something.
it's a big decision to quit your job, especially if you work for a big corporation. But I made the decision, and I don't regret it because life is much better here. There's also a lot of work, but
Exactly. And what was your last stop before moving here? It's Texas?
yes, I was living in Texas and Houston.
In Houston.
Yes,
You loved life there, or
it was interesting, but it's not a place where I would like to grow old.
maybe
I
it's
spent like a maturity of my lifetime.
I see. So maybe it's because of Houston you decided, okay, I'm
Yes.
done with my job.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
gonna move out.
Yes, a lot because of Houston. Houston is interesting. It's not a bad place, but it's also, I miss the mountains. I need mountains. I need nature, and there is very little nature in Houston. So
It is flat.
it's flat, and the Gulf of Mexico is also not the greatest place to go to the beach. So yeah, it all came together.
This is palm trees, this is bananas, or what is this?
Yes, those are bananas. We don't have many palm trees. These are bananas, and in the front is papayas. There is some sugarcane down there as well, and the sugarcane is either for us or for the horses.
So you planted them,
Yes.
or they?
No, we planted
So
them.
You planted
And
them.
some of them were actually in a different part on the property, and we transferred them here because here is a better place to grow them because we can like monitor and trim them, and also they get a lot of compost from the horses. So horses produce a lot of compost, and we use this as a natural fertilizer.
And from this side,
Yeah,
it's supposed to be horses, but
Yeah.
they're chilling.
they are chilling out on the
Everywhere.
pasture somewhere. They don't like to be inside, but at night they're always here for safety, and they happily come back themselves here.
How do you use them? Just for the tourists, or they
Yes.
help you to work? Somehow?
Well, they help me to get around on the property, and for the tourists.
Nice. How many?
At the moment, we have 5 horses.
5 horses. The youngest one you said is 7 years old.
The youngest is 7, and the oldest is about 20. Once they get older, it's a little harder to tell how old they are. So, but he's about 20 years old.
What is this property? Like, why it's fenced?
Well, this is also for the horses, and it's a part that we fenced in. So, for instance, if we need the horses available, we can put them here, and we don't have to search them in the forest. So they're very close, but they can still move around freely.
And these tiny streams help
This
them
fence
not
is
to-
electric fence. If
this
it's
is
connected and you touch it, you will know.
But it's not gonna kill me, but it hurts.
Yes, it's very unpleasant.
I see.
You can try if you
Not
want. We
gonna
can
try.
make a little video here if you want.
Okay, let's do
You
that.
try.
Yeah, let's do some hype.
Some of the fruit trees we have here, a lot of lemons, limes, carambolas, star fruits. Some is called uchuvas, frusales in English.
And this is a mango tree.
This is a mango tree.
It was here when you bought the
That
property
was here.
because it's huge. Yeah.
Yes, like the little ones, they were not here. Like this one we planted.
This is mango as well.
No, this is ilang ilang.
Alana.
Yeah, you need to wait for a flower.
I see.
Now you will smell.
But even leaves are smell.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
You know, ilang ilang is Chanel numero 5.
They
That's
use this
ylang-ylang.
tree for. This Wow, didn't know that.
Yes. Here are our
Chicken.
free-range chickens.
Chicken. What about eggs? So,
Eggs. Well, they lay about 1 egg a day, a little less. And,
so you use it for
yeah.
cooking for
Yeah, of
yourself, like for some guests.
Of course,
Cool.
yes.
So you don't regret?
No,
about
absolutely
your
not.
decision?
I mean, if you do something like this, you have to do it 100%. You cannot do it like, okay, I still work and I do this. I mean, that's the only thing I would recommend you cannot do. You cannot say, okay, I do a little here and then I do it when I'm retired, because then you're old and, you know, physically and mentally not as fit as you are when you are still relatively young.
At what time, like, you retired from your regular work? At what age, I mean, you retired
I
from?
was 45 years old.
45, it was 6
Yes.
years ago. Yeah, so, and now you're enjoying
And
your
I'm
life.
51.
This is so
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, you have to do it.
Maybe in 10 years, you know, maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, that's the only thing. If you do it, if you wait too long, I don't think you can do it, because it's a different environment, it's different language, different people, different job. Everything is different. And if you're too old, you will not be able to process everything and be able to pick up the language, the temperature, the humidity, the people, the government, whatever, the paperwork. Very difficult. This is a tent I actually brought from the US. It's like a clamping tent. And we made a solid roof on top because we have a lot of rain here. So it's better to have a solid roof and not just a plastic, like a tarpaulin. And this is where my worker lives. But he has a solid bathroom in the back. So it's actually very nice and very
I see.
comfortable.
And very chilly, like cooler.
Yes, very
yeah.
cold, very cool. Yes.
How many times had you been to Costa Rica before buying this property?
Twice.
Twice.
Yes.
And you like fell in love from the first
Yes.
time, and you decided.
Yes, I liked it. And the second time I was here, I found this property and basically, okay, decided to buy it.
How long the idea was living inside your head? It's not like an instant decision.
No,
you were thinking like
It was like 1 year before I moved here.
1 year.
1 year.
It's not a long time, you know. It's
No,
like
it's not.
some people. I don't know. I cannot buy a new camera in 1 year sometimes, but you like completely
Yeah.
change your life. And this house, this is a guest house, right?
Yes, this is our so-called Casa Naranja,
Uh-huh.
and it's the latest guest house we have. Is with air condition and nice tiled floor, wooden terrace, and very modern and comfortable.
But I would say our house doesn't have air conditioning, but you
But it's
promised
chilly.
that
Yeah,
it's gonna
yeah,
be chilly, and it's chilly.
Yeah.
Like
At
it's
night
good.
it cools
yeah,
down.
it's night. It's
Yes,
very
yes,
good.
yes.
At day,
And you're
why?
outside.
Yeah,
and-
we're
yes.
outside. We
Yeah,
driving
yeah.
somewhere, so it's not
Yeah.
a problem at all. Okay, let's move. Be careful. So this is a mango tree.
Yes, actually it's called a manga. It's not a mango. It's
Manga.
slightly different. Yes, but it's very similar. And it maybe next, I don't know, maybe 2 more weeks, and then we can start to harvest.
So it's not ready yet.
Not ready yet.
Yeah.
No. But some people also eat it green. You can also eat it green. I don't like it green, but other people eat it green with
Is
salt.
it sweet when green
No,
or
no?
no?
It's like I don't know, like sour.
I see. So you can use it for salad.
Yes, that's what people do. So buying a property is not super difficult, not time consuming. And I basically put in all my savings, all my money, all my retirement funds and whatever into this project.
All in. You
All
went
in.
all in.
Yes,
yeah.
because as I said, so first of all, I don't have another additional million that I can save. And secondly, either you do it full or, you cannot do it halfway. It's not possible. And now, I live on renting out and doing horseback riding tours. 2 years. 2 years. I needed to make this at least available to one house. Yes.
And then COVID hit.
And then yes,
COVID.
and then I built another one. Then COVID. That of course messed everything up and made everything very much more difficult. Yes.
But is it profitable now?
Yes. Now it's basically sustainable.
It's sustainable. So you can live from this.
Yes. Yes.
That's amazing. And what are future plans you have? For now, you have 3 or 4 houses to rent.
At the moment, I have 3 houses, and I want to build 2 more, the same style like the Casa Naranja, the cabin that we saw before. The same style. I want to build 2 more, so that I can live more comfortable.
And what about the property which is like over the mountain, like over the hill? What are you gonna do with this? Like it's gonna be the trail?
Yeah, for now I leave everything as it is. I don't have any plans to buy more. I also wouldn't have the funds, and the property is big enough. I can do a lot of stuff. I'm just making actually an additional trail to another waterfall, so there's enough potential here and keeps me busy. The property that I have, I don't need to buy additional space.
What about locals? Are you friends with them, or what's your relations with like your neighbors?
In general, yes, I'm friends with the neighbors, and most of them I know very well. And many times we also, if I need some help or some special work, they help me, because the one guy might have a chainsaw and he comes and helps me, and the other one has a car that we can use. In general, it's a very pleasant environment here, especially if you speak a little Spanish. If you don't speak Spanish, it's more difficult.
Did you know Spanish before moving here?
Very little.
Very
I
little.
learned here.
You don't have any investors, like you invest yourself?
Most of the things, yes. Yes. Like I took all my money, and as I said, it's like.
But you did have a house like in Houston or somewhere like in Austria.
Yes, it's a more complicated story, but yes, I had a reasonable amount of money to like buy this and to live and to construct.
And I'm asking about investors, because like working for someone and get a paycheck every 2 weeks, it's different
Absolutely.
from maintaining and relying on yourself. And my first credit card in US, I like requested it after 2 years living because I hate loans. I never do loans. I buy everything for cash. I always pay in advance, always. That's why this
It's
is
also a
like
better
personal
concept.
question for me.
Yeah. It's a better concept. The only thing is if you, like, as I said, I don't bought this land on a loan or something, because then you can lose it fairly easily.
Yes.
Now I think a little different. If I, for instance, I want to invest in an additional building, and say, okay, to make it easy, okay, let's say it costs 100,000, and the loan is 10%. Okay, but I can make 20% per year.
Yeah.
Okay, then it makes sense, right? And if I lose it, okay, I lose this amount, but I don't lose my business. I don't lose. I just lose this part.
And you've developed like a business mind already.
Yeah. The other thing is, of course, finance. You need to think, how do you do this, right?
Yeah.
And also, what is your backup, right? If you have, like, if it doesn't work, or like the pandemia, if you have, let's say, at least you have parents that can keep you alive, because if not, you lose it, right? Because then you have to sell the property or the house, and you sell it at 50%, or I don't know, right? That's also the question. What is your emergency backup? And you can get sick. What do you do if you are in hospital for 1 year?
Yeah.
And this is, and last but not least is the question about children, right? If you have children, they need to go to school. Where do they go to school, and all that? Well,
craft
that's
studio.
our workshop
Workshop.
with storage.
This is you decorated as well, right?
Yes, yes. I mean, those plants grow very quickly and very easy.
Crafted things like this or night lights.
Uh-huh.
You did it yourself?
Yes, yes, yes.
That's
Almost
amazing.
most of the parts and the fence and the signs and yeah,
You learned by yourself?
YouTube videos.
Amazing. And this is our house where we live.
Schubert, where are you coming from? Look, there is a horse coming. Come here, Schubert. Schubert. He's called after the Austrian composer. This is all, by the way, this is an avocado tree. You see all the avocados? It's hard to see maybe on the
Oh,
video.
we didn't notice this.
Yes, this is avocado, but they are still green. So, but
And
look, there are hundreds.
How do you harvest them? Like you
With a
climb
long-
over the
No,
tree?
we have it like a picker.
Usually we live in the city and we go into vacation to
Mm-hmm.
places like this. What about you? What's your vacation?
Yeah, good point. You live in the city, you go to this, and I usually go to the city. So I might fly to New York or I might fly to San Francisco. Of course, I drive a little around in the countryside, but I usually go to the city. Or to get to know places, like go to Panama or go to, I don't know, Mexico. And of course, I go home to Austria to see my family and friends.
And you have vacation like every year, right? You have time for yourself.
Well, I have to take time. It's up to me, right? So now I'm self-employed, so I don't take a lot of time, but because the longer you're away, the more problems. So usually I take more shorter trips rather than one long trip.
Who is staying here? Who is managing property while you're out?
Normally, I have like 2 workers here most of the time, so they look after the property, and then I also work with volunteers, most of the time from Europe, and they also help me with guests and the horses. So when I'm away, the volunteers are here to help with that. Nice wind here.
This table. Tell me about it.
Well,
What is this?
it's a table we got from the sawmill, and it's a guanacaste, the wood called. And we finished it, and we put legs on it.
You
And
know,
this is from our own property. This is called a pilon. It's all wood that we use. You know, trees that fall down, and we use them.
you just finished them, yeah, and everything looks amazing. You know, this kind of table in Texas would cost like $30,000-$40,000 probably. I don't know. I guess, but this is my suggestion. But it's super expensive.
I can imagine.
And your kitchen.
And the kitchen. This is our outdoor kitchen. It's an old type pizza oven.
Pizza oven.
Yes.
Do
So
you-
if
do
you
you
have a
make
lot of
pizza?
time, you can make pizza, but it's not so easy because you need to preheat it for about 3 hours, and you need dry wood, which is very difficult to get here because it's so humid. So all the wood, even if you have it under a roof, all the wood is very high with humidity.
I see.
Yes. This is real palm. This is called royal palm, and royal palm is the longest palm leaves that we have here, and they're 8 meters long, 8 meters. And they need to be split, and then they are put up there with rope and fixed. Well, what I learned in my life is you never know what's happening in the future. So I'm not having any plans for what's happening in 20 years. For now, I want to live here, and I want to develop this more, like the next 5-10 years, and then I'll see what's happening. If I'm still happy here, I think so. But you never know. The world is changing, you know, things can affect you, health, friends, family. I have no plans for the next 20 years.
Before we finish, I forgot to ask, do you miss snow? Because you're from Austria.
I not necessarily snow, but sometimes I miss cold weather.
Just wanted something.
Yes, like cold weather.
The last but not
That's
least.
the most important part
Yes.
for many people. The swimming pool.
Yeah, we spend like every day here, like morning, afternoon, evenings, always here.
Yeah.
So tell us something interesting about this pool. How complicated it was to make this pool in the middle of the jungle?
So first of all, that I made the design for the pool, and then like the architecture and the choice of materials, and then I had a group of people to put it in place, and it's actually done fairly quickly, but you need professional workers, because if the pool breaks, you can basically not repair it. So if there's a crack or something, it's very, very difficult to repair. You can do it, but it's very difficult.
You told all the houses you build yourself and all the like designs and everything like from scratch you draw yourself
Yes,
as well.
yes.
YouTube videos make amazing things to people. Yeah, I do the same, Marcus,
Well, you know,
always.
I always say, and somebody else said it, it's not me, but people always overestimate what they can do in 1 year, because time flies. You know, 1 year is like,
Yeah,
but
instantly.
they underestimate what you can do in 10 years. I'm here now since 5-6 years, you know, and I did this, and I say in 10 years, I will be more or less satisfied what I've done. But like in 1 year, not much. In 10 years, you know, you can achieve something.
It's always one step at a time.
Yes, exactly. Just every day a little more.
What is this chair for? I was trying to guess, just sitting and enjoying the view.
I have a very utilitarian point of view. So this is actually where the pump is placed for the pool, and it's a little higher. So we decided to make a little terrace, and people can sit here and watch the birds and the monkeys in the trees. That's it. It's just a bird viewing platform.
I see. You know, I had a little frustration about monkeys, birds, and other like animals in Costa Rica at all. That's why it didn't come up to my mind that this is for animals watching, because I thought that this is for trees watching, for mountain watching, but not animals.
no.
Because I was thinking that wild animals, it's like cats or dogs, like everywhere. But it's
no,
not.
it's
It's
no.
not.
So
Only in souvenir stores.
We have or in Manuel Antonio. If you go to the park, you will see a lot of animals, but that's because it's a very confined space and they're used to people. Here we also have everything. There is the monkeys, snakes, birds, but of course as soon as they hear you, they usually go away.
I see.
Except you can see the squirrel monkeys we have here very often, but they move around. It's a big group, 40 or 50 of them. And if they're here, you definitely will know, because you will hear and you will see it. But they wander around. They're not here and waiting for you. They're here, and maybe today they're over there, and the day after tomorrow they're there. So you never know.
But yesterday, on the top of this tree, we saw two toucans.
Ah, yes, the toucans are here today. I already saw them flying several times here.
I think we're done. Thank you so much, Marcus.
You're
As
welcome.
I already said, you're so interesting person. You have so interesting background. It was big pleasure to have a time with you. Thank you so much for sharing your experience,
You're
for
very
showing
welcome.
your wonderful place, and I'm wishing you all the best with the current and future developments on this amazing, wonderful, magic place. Maybe you have something inspiring for people who, you know, sitting in the cities and their small apartments, and they look at you right now, this life around you. Maybe you have something inspired for them.
Well, okay, so the one thing I want to repeat, I already said it, is like, don't look into the next 20 years, because there are so many things that can change, your health, your finance, I don't know what. So I'm not concerned about 20 years on. The other one is, I would be always fully committed. Like I wouldn't do something half, like buy here, buy there, and just taking like care of it. Like, you know, you have to do it full time. And third, but not last, I would say it's a lot of work. People don't see that. They don't see that, you know, it takes a lot of effort to make this happening. You can do it, you know, but it takes a lot of effort. It's not an 8-hour job. You do it basically 24 hours. You know, even when you sleep, you're like, okay, what needs to be done? Okay, this I need to do, this I need to take care of. So it's a lot of work. It's not relaxing, but it's very enjoyable. So I would always recommend, you know, do what you like. But, you know, it's work. It's not like lying in the sun.